All right, let's test this. Make sure we're on. Okay, looks like we're live. All right, shalom, shalom. If you brothers can hear me.
Looks like we're live.
Cool. All right, shalom, brothers. Yabashim Yashai, Bashim Kakwadash, Brakatam. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. So, as you brothers can see, this lesson is going to be going into the Hebrew root words, and so I have a source that I use, and by the way, this is of course going to be a Hebrew lesson, and for brothers who may know, I have done multiple Hebrew lessons in the past, and what I'm doing right now, I'll say, is I'm sharing a source that I would use in order to generate these lessons. So I'll give an example of these lessons here that I've done in the past, where I would focus on words that were frequently occurring, right? Like, for example, I'm showing on the screen here this lesson that I did a few years ago was for the Hebrew word korah, okay? And so, or excuse me, not korah, which means to call out. And so I have, other ones, right? Shammai, which means to hear, Abba, which is father, Adama, which is ground, okay? Ach, which is brother, Achad, which is one, so on and so forth, right? And so if you notice, all of these Hebrew lessons that I did either had, for the most part, two letters or three letters in them, which makes them root words, okay? And so the most basic Hebrew word that you can generate is a two-letter word, right? And so, for example, we'll use this as a reference. By the way, I'm using this book here, okay? Fair use, by the way, okay? It's called Hebrew Vocabularies, and it lists the most frequently occurring Hebrew words. So what this does is it allows you to prioritize the most frequently occurring Hebrew words, and consequently, you're able to prioritize that and learn those first, as opposed to just trying to go on the blue letter, right, and just try to click a random verse. Like, let's say you just want to see, okay, let me see if I can learn Hebrew, and then you just click a random verse, right, like this, for example, Malachi 3:1. We'll use this for example, and you looking at all of these letters and all of these words, and you have no idea where to start, is because you have to understand first the root words, okay? And so each of these words you see here, they all have root words, okay? And when you click on them, let's say you want to get the definition of this word here, wa patha'am, okay? If you click on this word, it's going to show you the root word of this, because this is a compound word, okay? And so you want to make sure that you understand the root word, and then from there you'll be able to unlock more descriptive words, okay? So you have certain words that occur very frequently because they're more simply, they're basically more simple ideas, right? So let's scroll down here and we'll get some examples. And by the way, some of you brothers, that's watching this may have seen this booklet before, if you will, this book, Hebrew Vocabularies. But it's very, very important to go over this, because as we're about to continue on, you'll be able to see why the root words are so important. Okay. So, by the way, all of these words that you see here on this portion, I've done a Hebrew lesson on. Okay, which again I have. Where's the YouTube link? I have a playlist on my channel. Okay. I have a playlist on my channel. Let me go back. Okay, X out of this. So this playlist here has about 70 videos. Okay. If you click on it, I have one of the videos from Apostle Ramlav's page, GMS Lashawan Kodash. And then I have other videos that I did. Okay. And a lot of these, again, 3-letter words. Yawam, which is day. Kahan, which is priest. La'ab is heart. Okay. And you can see that's a 2-letter word. So what's the difference between a 2-letter root word and a 3-letter root word? A 2-letter root word is known as a parent root. Okay. Meaning this is the most simplest Hebrew word that you could possibly come up with. Okay. This most simplest form, I should say, of a Hebrew word possible. And there's a lot of, spiritual understanding that, is still kind of a little bit ambiguous, because we're going to get the full Hebrew, as far as speaking it fluently, we're going to get the full understanding, okay, in the kingdom. Like the scriptures say, we know in part, we prophesy in part. But when that actually, let me go ahead and pull it instead of just quoting it. No, in parts. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this here. 1 Corinthians 13:9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. And so we know that we have the truth, we have the sufficient amount of information, okay, the full understanding of prophecies, sufficient enough for us to be able to enter into the kingdom. All right. And there's other things that are above our understanding that's going to be revealed in the kingdom. Okay. And so what we can do here is do our best, and that's the mindset to carry on when it comes to the Hebrew. Do your best to make the flashcards. Okay. And this is a tool, a very important tool. Again, the name of this book is called Hebrew Vocabularies, and it's an old book. I believe it was published like almost 100 years ago, if not more. And you can go on archive.org and get all of any book that you need for free. Okay, you can see there's a link here, archive.org, and you just want to go and find this book here. Okay, and so again, what's the difference between a 2-letter root word and a 3-letter root word? So this is what is called a parent root. That's what I guess you could say Esau classifies it as, right? Because he really gets into the Hebrew. And then also the 3-letter words. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get this. I have a little bit of a source I want to get to you, brothers, man. And when you're going into the Hebrew, you do have to do research. You can't just go and again, like I said here, given this example, go and try to read the Hebrew, okay, without understanding the root words first, and how you build on top of that. Okay. But this lesson is solely based on understanding the root words. Okay. And the way to understand the root words is a simple key: memorization, because there are only so many combinations. There's only so many 3-letter words, only so many root words, that if you get the most frequently occurring ones, you're going to be good. Right. And so these words here, for the most part, I pretty much have them all memorized, right? Like going down the list. Well, we already said Abba, which is father, Adama, which is ground, Adawanya, which is Lord, Ach, which is brother. Let's see. I got to get these 2 down. Ayash, which is man. Okay. Alahayim, we know that's powers, so on and so forth. Aratazah, that's earth. Okay. So on and so forth. Right. And so once you get these things memorized, then you'll be able to build upon that, because the 4-letter words and the 5-letter words are all words that are based on these root words here. Okay. So let's get some examples. let's go to this website here, ancient-hebrew.org. Okay, and this is an article here titled "About Hebrew Nouns and Verbs," just the basic understanding of it. Okay, so let's see. It says the most common. Let me zoom in a little bit. It says the most common noun form is the use of the 2-letter or the 3-letter root. Okay, it says the parent root. Okay, a two-letter word here. Abba is a noun, which means father. It says a child root, which is a 3-letter word. A war can be a verb, okay, meaning to enlighten, but it's also used as a noun, meaning light. Okay, so you have to know, depending on the context of the sentence, which if it's a verb or if it's a noun. Okay. It says the adopted root can be a verb meaning to open, which is patach, right? To open. It says, but is also used as a noun meaning door. Okay, so you have this is the importance of understanding the root words, because you have words, 3-letter words that can be used as nouns or verbs. Okay, so this is a list of the most frequently occurring nouns here. And of course, you're going to have to go back and do your own, flashcards, make your own flashcards. Okay. You got it. You got to have the flashcards to get it down. Okay. And then also a list of the most frequently occurring verbs. Okay. Like, for example, a call means to eat. Amar means to say. Okay. Bawa'ah, that's in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Okay. Or bara'ah, excuse me. That's bawa'ah. That's a different word. Okay. But bara'ah means to create. Okay. This is a different word than that. This is debar. Okay. Debar, which is also kind of like to speak. Amar is to speak as well. Let's see. Haya, which is to live. Okay, so on and so forth, right? Oh, yadai means to know. Okay, and so once you get these words down, then you'll be able to go and understand the next level of words, which is the 4-letter words. Okay, so before we go into that, let's go back to this. I just picked a random verse here. Okay, let's go back to this here. So if you look in the text, this is Malachi 1 and 3. It says, "Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me." Okay, and if you go back to the Hebrew, before I break this down, if you go back to this is going to load to this playlist, you'll see, and you watch these videos, you'll see I'll focus on one Hebrew word, but I'll use it in a sentence out of the scripture. So, if you brothers have time, you can go back and see what I mean. But you can do this with any verse. Okay, you can do this with any verse. As long as you have the blue letter, okay, and you have the understanding of the suffixes and the prefixes, okay, then you'll be able to break it down. Now let's go back to this Malachi 3 and 1. Actually, let me check the comment board real quick. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back here. Malachi 3 and 1. All right, so it says, "Behold," which is Hananya. Okay. Now the root word here is Han. Okay. So this is an example of a 2-letter word. Okay. Meaning to behold, or lo, or look, right? And then it has 2 suffixes at the end. Okay. So Han is the root word, and then you have 2 letters. Okay, you have the letter Na, and then you have the letter Ya. Okay, and so the letter Ya at the end means it makes it what would that be? Possessive, right? So Ya means my, or behold me. Okay, and then Shalach, which is a root word, means to send. Okay, that's the basic word. Okay, now you get to another word here, malaakia. Okay, if you look at the, let me take these vowel points off. If you look at the text, malaakia. Okay, now the root word, if you go here, this is a good example. Let's go to, this is a noun, so let's go to the list of nouns. I'm pretty sure it's one of the most frequently occurring ones. Malak. Okay. Now, by the way, ignore these little vowel points and cantillation marks that they have here. We're just looking strictly at the letters. Okay. Malaka. Malak. Now, malak can be found in this word. In this word here, mala'aka. Okay. Or excuse me, mala'akia. Okay. You have the letter ma, la, and ka. Just like how, if you see here, ma, la, ka, right here in my mouse, number 25, to the right of number 25, right here. So this word here, though, you can see says messenger. Okay. So what is the difference between, let's click this here. What's the difference between messenger, mala'ak, and then malak, which is the root word? Okay. Well, this is where spiritual discernment comes in. Okay. Because when you're going on your computer and you're looking at a Hebrew word, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look and see, okay, how to pronounce it. Ma, la, a, ka. You sound it out and then you put it together. Now, if you're looking at a 4-letter word, most likely, well, pretty much every time it's going to have a root word, a 3-letter root word. Now, this one here doesn't have it, but it's okay because we already know the root word. We already know that the word malak means king. And if you see here, and this is why, again, spiritual discernment is important. When you're studying the Hebrew, it's never going to be just a straight path. It's never going to be just a straight, easy, just one way fits all type of situation that you can plug in and decode everything. You have to be able to get the core understanding of these words are the most important words. Want to stress this. These words that you're looking at on the screen, if you're new to the Hebrew and you're trying to figure out how do I learn Hebrew, it seems like a daunting task, something that I don't think I can ever do. Look at the words that are the most common words, okay, the most frequently occurring words, and memorize them. It's only 38 of them here, okay? And when you're going into scripture, 9 times out of 10, every scripture you run into in the Old Testament is going to have at least the root of one of these words, okay? And so, and we can pick another example just to go into it after this, but I want to really take it slow and make sure this makes sense to brothers. Okay. So let me see here. You see where it says root word from an unused root, meaning to dispatch as a deputy. Well, a deputy, what's the definition of a deputy? A person whose immediate superior is a senior figure. Okay. Also, second in command. Okay. So on and so forth. Right. So somebody in high authority. Okay. Which is again, mala'ak, a king. Now you have this letter in the middle of this root word, malak. You have this letter a. Okay. And what that does is it changes. Let's go back to this this article here from ancient-hebrew.org. This is what's this word mala'ak. Let's go back again. This word mala'ak is what's known as, you could say, a noun derivative. Okay, because this word is a noun, right? Part of speech you can see as a noun. However, it's a derivative of a root word, malak, right? And how do we know that? Again, because we know that malak is a root word meaning king, a ruler. Okay. And so what does what do those two things have in common? What's the relation between a king and a ruler and a messenger, right? So let's go here to the noun derivative. It says additional nouns are formed out of the root by adding specific letters in specific places within the root. Okay. And then it gives examples. Okay. So again, this is an example here. It gives an example here, but we're going to look at this. Okay. We just going in the spirit right now. This is a example. Okay. What those specific letters that go within the root words are typically wa. Excuse me. This is a ya right here. Ya and wa. But you also can put the letter I in there, and you'll see certain words with the letter I within a root. Going back here, and it'll change the meaning to something else. Okay, now what's the relationship between a king, malak, okay, a malak, which is a king, and a messenger? Well, a king is the one that sends a messenger. A king is the one that has ambassadors to go and send messengers, representatives out to them. Okay, and so see here, if you look at the definition, and again, Esau, he is a man like us. He's looking at the scriptures and he's trying to figure out how to break it down. Okay, and most of the work, most of the heavy lifting is done for us. That's why, through the Spirit, we use the Blue Letter Bible. Okay, but you also have to know how to extrapolate. Okay, and so you can see here the definition says, and this is not true. Unused root. Anytime you see unused root, that just means that it's not a very common one, or maybe something that Esau doesn't have a full understanding of, or something, he may not fully understand. But again, malak, we can see, is simply located in here in this word, malak. Okay, so it says a messenger, specifically of the Most High, which the most Yahweh Shem Yahshai, that's the ultimate king. Okay, which in a dispatch or a deputy of the Most High would be an angel. So a lot of times you can see here it's translated into the word angel, and the other time it's translated into the word messenger, because you have heavenly messengers and you have physical messengers on the earth, right? Either way, they're messengers of a particular king, whether the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords in the heavens, the Most High, or it could be a physical king here, right? And so that's why you have the word angel and messenger is the same word, because they have the same role. They're ambassadors, okay, or basically individuals that are dispatched as a deputy from so let's go back here to make sure I get all the meat off of this one here, off this noun derivatives, because again, the concept of the root words is very simple. It just takes time. It takes dedication to go and go to Office Depot, okay, and buy some flashcards and just write these words down, so that way you can have it. You can have it in your Rolodex spiritually, your mental Rolodex. And then when you go and you want to look and see what words mean within a verse, let's continue on in this Malachi 3:1. Okay, we can see here. This is just a compound word, wa, panah. Let's see. Let's look for another one. The first one was a good one. Shoot, even if you want to use the word Adawan, to be honest, Adawan is another example of a noun that derives from a root word, because even though it's a very, very common noun on its own, Adawan, you see how it has, let's go back to it. You see how it has that wa, okay? That wa in the middle of the word, the root word adon, which Esau's a demon, man. He's really making this hard, because let's pull it up. Adon is a word on its own, but he could easily tie this here and make it easier for us to connect the dots. But he ain't. He took it off. Let's pull it up, and then you got to get familiar. If you want to really study the Hebrew, you got to get familiar with using your tools, man. Okay, because if you don't have a Hebrew keyboard, how are you going to search Hebrew words? Right now, I'm on the Blue Letter, and on your computer, you can go on the translations, the different Bible translations, right? And then WLC, okay, Westminster Leningrad Codex is basically the Hebrew, and so you can search a word in Hebrew. So let's look for the word. Let's look for the word. Where we at? Where's my keyboard? Da na. Adon. Okay, which will be the root word of Adawan. So we got two examples. Let's see what comes up. I want to get this one on Jeremiah. Let's click in and see. Do they have a Strong's number for it? Let's see. Oh no, that's a name. That's a compound name. Try this one. Here we go. Okay. See, this is what I was talking about here. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this would be the root word. This would be the root word for the word Adawan, which Adawan comes up a whole bunch of times in the Old Testament, right? As you can see here. Okay, it comes up anytime you see Lord in like not in all caps, it's the Hebrew word Adawan. Or you could say Adunya, which is my Lord. Okay. But Adawan is Lord. Okay. Now, when you go to see what Esau should have put right here, and this is the importance of being able to teach yourself. This lesson is really going into how to teach yourself and what tools to use, how to teach yourself the Hebrew, the basics of the Hebrew. Okay, whereas the foundations of the Hebrew is the root word themselves. Now, I'll get this example and I'll pretty much close it out because really the concept is simple. It just requires practice. Okay, so Adawan here again, Lord. Now, what's the root word? Esau being a demon, he didn't put it right here, but with a simple word search and understanding that this is a compound or not compound. I'm sorry, that this is a noun that derives from the root word Adon. Okay, let's go back. Now we have it. Okay. We're not talking about Idon. Idon is the Hebrew word for Eden, which means paradise. Okay, Adon, the letter A, not I, A-da-na. Okay, now Idon means strong, right? As we see here, base, pedestal, strong, firm. Okay, let's see here, the sense of strength, okay, like a foundation, like of a basis of a building, or you could say, let's see here, socket, sockets. It says it only comes up at one time. Let's get the translation here. Oh, here we go. Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon. It says a foundation. Okay, Adon in the masculine. It's a masculine noun. It says foundation of a column, base, pedestal. For example, the foundation of a house. Let's see here. Okay, it also says to be lower, like to. Okay, yeah, this probably be the best to go off of. And then, this is in Hebrew, so I'm not gonna go into that. So now you get the understanding. Okay, A strong man is a basically a master or ruler. Okay. And so Adawan, let's go back here. Adawan means Lord. So you can understand um, the bigger words more in depth when you go into the root words, which is why it's so important to know the root words. Okay. So let's see here. That's pretty much it, brothers. Like I said, I didn't, want this lesson to be too long. Wanted you brothers to have an idea how to teach yourself Hebrew and where to find these words. If you need a screenshot of this screen, feel free, go ahead and then look it up later. Again, these words, I already did Hebrew word of the day on a majority of these words already. Okay. So you definitely want to go into them and look. And then when you want to continue to learn the Hebrew, let's go back to here. When you want to continue to practice the Hebrew and get better at it, okay, you need to make sure that you know the root words, and then you also need to get the prepositions and the prefixes and the suffixes down, and then you'll be surprised how much you're going to be able to interpret from learning from reviewing these words here. And maybe if you want to get more into the ones that come less frequently, you'll be surprised how much you'll be able to interpret. Okay. So again, the name of this book, again, Fair Use. Okay. This book is called, where we at? Hebrew Vocabularies. Okay, by William H. Harper. This is a book that was written by a professor of Semitic languages in Yale University. Okay, this is a very high level book. Okay, and so Lord willing, this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.